For any app developer out there, the most important part of any app is the purchase and the pricing page, because it doesn't matter how good your app is, it doesn't matter how good your product is, because at the very last second when they're about to press checkout and become a paying user and putting their money in your pockets, they could be like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. And that's what's happening to the app that I'm currently building right now. The app is called perfectinterview.ai. It is an AI-powered mock job interviewing tool. And I'm gonna be honest, the purchase page is horrible. I look at it and I'm like, wow, how on earth do I have the capability to make something so ugly, so hideous? And that is why in this video, I'm gonna be going through a deep dive on upgrading my checkout and my pricing page, because it's so important. When I first built out this app within 1 month, I was just in a rush to get it out the door as quickly as possible just to launch my MVP, my minimum viable product. And I'm happy that I did that. But now that it's been around for 3 months at this point, I gotta go back in, take it a little bit more seriously, and definitely pay a lot more attention and give a lot more love to my pricing page, because it is bad. So let me head on over to my desk, show you what the current pricing page looks like, and then afterwards, you're gonna come join me on this journey of looking for good paywall screen examples, good checkout page examples, upgrade my very own app, and at the end, I'll show you my result of what my upgraded pricing and my upgraded checkout page looks like. All right, let's head on over. Now, just to provide a little bit more context about what exactly I'm building, I mentioned it earlier where I'm building an app called perfectinterview.ai, which is an AI-powered mock job interview solution. Right now, we have 3 main products. We have a custom mock behavioral interview, which is just a behavioral interview that we create when you upload your job description as well as your resume. So we create an AI-generated interview specifically for your role based off of your past experience. The second product is a mock investment banking suite of tools to practice your investment banking technical as well as your behavioral questions. And the third product is a mock coding software engineer set of tools to practice your coding interviews in a more realistic interview environment with an AI mock interviewer that you can ask any clarifying questions to, just like a real interview. Now, with all 3 of these products, we have to find a way to update to show on the UI their value propositions, as well as clearly distinguishing between each separate product. Now, a big open question is, what makes a good pricing page? What makes a good checkout page? And I think that there are a couple of things that go into mind. Number 1 is a clear display of what your app or product's value proposition is. Number 2 is a simple screen that shows you the different purchasing options, but it also clearly highlights one that you want the user to take action on more so than the others. For a lot of apps, and probably what I'm gonna do as well, a lot of apps will offer a cheaper pricing the longer you subscribe for. For example, it could be like 1 month is $10 and then 6 months is gonna be like $6 a month. And then if you purchase a 1-year plan, each month breaks down to only $3 or $4 a month. And out of one of these plans, they're gonna do some type of highlighting, being like, this is the best deal, this is the one you should get, to try to nudge the user to purchase that particular product over the other one. That is definitely something that I need to work on for my app, because I'll show you the pricing page, it has none of that. It is very confusing, no clear highlighting of what's the best package. It's awful. You'll see in a couple minutes. And with purchase pages, there are these things called dark patterns, which are essentially these ways of displaying UI that almost like half lie to the user to try to entice them to take a certain action. A pattern that I see a lot that I'm not the biggest fan of is when a user is gonna purchase a yearly plan and the big text, it just shows them the monthly breakdown. For example, it'll be something like where this is a $120 a year product, but the big pricing number that they show is just the monthly price. So it'll say only $10 a month. Then in very tiny text underneath, it says build once as $120 a year. Now you can kind of see why it's considered a dark pattern, where it's not a lie, because yes, theoretically, the monthly cost breakdown does break down to $10 a month, but it's also not the whole truth, because you're not paying just $10 a month. You are gonna be paying that $120 up front. There's a whole slew of dark patterns that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I get why developers and product designers use them. They work, they clearly work. But for me, just as a user, I hate when I see these dark patterns in the products that I use. So that's why personally, I'm gonna try my best, my hardest, to avoid using any of those dark patterns myself. All right, enough of me yapping. Let me show you what my current checkout page looks like right now. All right, so this is the current pricing page. As you can see, what the hell is going on? It's so ugly, it's so bad. So right now, the way that we're differentiating is we have each of the 3 separate products, the custom behavioral interview, the coding interviews, the investment banking interviews, all separated one by one here. And then we also have this toggle showing the yearly toggle saving 74%, and then it changes the price here. And then we show the updated per month pricing here, which is pretty good. So honestly, okay, maybe I was too harsh on myself. It's not awful, like absolutely doggy doo-doo terrible, but it's also not great. I think there's too many clicks the user has to do to scroll to see every single package option right here. And then I also think a part of me wants to introduce an in-between from just monthly versus yearly. I think most people, when they're preparing for a job interview, like mock interviewing, they're not going to need an entire year subscription. So I could see a lot of users being like, oh, I don't need a whole year's worth of job interview, mock interviews. So I want to introduce an intermediate option, either a 3-month or a 6-month in between. So those are a few of the things that I want to do in my next updated design of my pricing and my checkout page. Just less clicks for the users to see all of the different options, and one more intermediate package between the monthly and the yearly, either a 6-month or a 3-month. So now let's do a deep dive into researching what a good paywall screen looks like, and I'll come back with an updated design later on. All right, so I've just finished up my sleuthing around on the Paywall website, and I have 3 paywalls that I really like. And honestly, they all look kind of similar to each other, but I think they're really good, and I'm going to use them as inspiration for my next paywall design. So let me show you these real quickly. This is option number 1. I really like this because it shows all of the options all at once. And it's also really interesting because you see a 3-month plan that it offers. Not a lot of SaaS does this, but this one does, which I really like to have as inspiration. I do like how this design has all of the options: the monthly, the yearly, the 3 months, the lifetime. So a lot of good inspiration to have there. So the next paywall that I really liked is this one. Once again, very similar. It shows you the 3-month, the 12-month, and the 1-month, and it really incentivizes you to go for the 12-month or for the 3-month with this best value highlighting or the most popular highlighting. And it also shows you the per month price of each option down here, which is really helpful as well. I think that could definitely help increase conversions. And last but not least, here is another one. Once again, very similar style. This one, instead of a 3 months, it is a 6-month. Very clean, very concise. It shows you the per month breakdown when you go for the longer time options. So this is another really interesting one as well. All right, so those are the 3 paywalls that I really like that I'm gonna try to emulate for my new paywall design. But obviously the one downside is the fact that they're all mobile applications, and my app, perfectinterview.ai, it is a web application. It's a desktop application. So it's not as easily translatable, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I can still just use it as good inspiration. So I'm gonna go in, translate the design from mobile over to web, and try to get this done before the end of the day. Let's get it. It is currently 2:45, almost 3 p.m. So I've been actually rebuilding my checkout page for almost 6 hours at this point. Yeah, it's become way more of a tedious process than I thought, just because I think designing is one of those things. It's like, it can take a lot of time. So it's a very big update from what we had earlier. So let me show you what we've been working on for the past couple of hours. So this is the brand new pricing page. Looking pretty good, right? So you can toggle between the different types of products: investment banking, custom mock behavioral package, or the software engineer package. And as you scroll down, we have the 3 different pricings: 1 month, 6 month, or 1 year. And then we have that little colorful background, like most popular, best value, you know, that good old jazz. And just showing how much you're saving by upgrading to the longer term contracts. And last but not least, we got some testimonials from our users. I've come to realize social proof is incredibly important when people go and try to buy a product. They want to make sure that it's like legit. So we just did like a small PSA to some of our existing paying customers, being like, hey, can you write a quick testimonial for us? And I think that this is a really good checkout page. It's significantly better than what we had earlier. So fingers crossed that this can improve some of the conversion rates, and maybe we can get a few more customers, man. But yeah, I just realized like this stuff is it's not easy, and it's so different compared to working at a big tech company, because it's like at a big tech company, like everyone's jobs are pretty siloed, and just going through this process, it just reminds me of how hard doing this whole startup, building your own product is. Because like when you work at a big tech company, you don't have to worry about users coming in. It's like there are already tons of users coming into your product most of the time. So any change that you make, you know that users are going to see it. So it's just all these like tiny little changes that you have to make, and you can get a very easy read to see, was this a good change or was this not a good change? But right now with Perfect Interview, since it's still so early in the product development cycle, it's like we still need to really, really actively work on getting users to come in and just like get stuff started. Like we're still very much so in that 0 to 1 phase, like just kind of scrambling to do everything ourselves. And not gonna lie, the past couple of days we haven't gotten that many new paying customers, and both my co-founder and I, we were kind of panicking a little bit. We're like, oh my god, is this a bad idea? Do we shut down? Like, is this the end of Perfect Interview? But this is just a good reminder to myself and also to anyone else that's interested in building your own thing. Look, We've only been working on this for 2 months. Anything substantial, anything of worth any value, most of the time, will take way longer than just 2 to 3 months to build. It was silly for me to get into the mindset of, oh my God, we haven't got any paying customers in 2 days. Time to shut this whole thing down. Time to quit. Like that's stupid to me. Like I was being a certified dumb boy. If it's truly going to be successful, it's going to take way more than 2 to 3 months. It's going to take 6 months, a year, maybe multiple years to do anything substantial. Every overnight success has 10 years of hard work behind the scenes, and this is step 1 of those 10 years of hard work. So not fun, really unsexy, but super realistic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.